What is up, everybody? Welcome to this Trainwreck Sports podcast, where we are not here to play school. We are here to preview the first round of the college football playoff, the first iteration of the 12-team college football playoff. Jake Micah, joined as always by my brother Alex Micah. We made it. Today is the day. Tonight, the college football playoff round one starts. The Battle of Indiana, the Indiana Bowl. Notre Dame hosting
whatever you want to call it.
Indiana.
Whatever you want to call it. Not as frequent
we're
as
here.
a rivalry. Not as frequent as a rivalry as I thought it was, honestly, though, looking back on it. If you had
How
to
many
guess,
times they played?
they've only played each other 29 times. This will be the 30th matchup between the two teams.
Okay.
How many wins do you think Indiana has? There's one tie, so I'll give you that.
Wait, how many times is it again? 20 what?
They played each other 29 times. There is one tie. How many times do you think Indiana has won?
6.
Oh, 5. You were close.
Ah.
5. Last win was 1950 in Bloomington. Was the last win.
1950?
Yes, these teams haven't played each other since 1991. So Battle of Indiana, two in-state teams, first ever college football playoff matchup between two in-state teams. So that's fun on its own. And it's going to be a great little wintry, little cold night up in South Bend.
They showed Marcus Freeman coming in on the bus, and there's just snow all over that city right now.
It's not. I don't think I've seen any snow in the game, but it's just going to be cold. It's going to be windy. And that's kind of going to be the entire playoff for at least two of the other matchups we're going to talk about are these nice, 3 of the 4 games over these nice northern states in late December. I'm sure that's exactly what they envisioned for the college football playoff when they're going to have these, home field games.
You can get into the building now. There's been a lot of talk about ticket prices, $484 each before fees on StubHub. So the prices came down considerably by game time, but still,
ticket
to get into
the ticket conversation and people talk about it. It's in-state. It's Notre Dame. Obviously, it doesn't have as big a stadium as some of these other schools that are gonna, they're selling their tickets for cheaper. It's in-state rivalry, even though it's not like a rivalry that's played every single year. But Notre Dame also just has a crazy the largest alumni base. Or people who are fans of Notre Dame, but they didn't have anything to do with the school even, and they just are fans of Notre Dame for whatever reason. So obviously, it's such a big deal. To get all these people there.
Sir, could just be driving to State College tomorrow, where tickets are $30 to get to the college football playoff game.
Yeah, I'd be, and I know people are talking shit about Penn State for that. It's what's killing people is that it's right before the holiday, which 100% makes sense. It's Christmas is only 5 days away. Or, people are saving their money because they're going to go to the bowl game. They're hoping that Penn State gets into after this. But also, the hotel prices in State College are ridiculous. They're about $1,200 for a night. So no one wants to spend that money. So that's the thing. You're canceling out anybody who can actually try to travel there and will spend that money. But they're not going to – they can't stay. You're getting priced out. So I don't know. We'll see. I saw some rumor floating around yesterday that there's only going to be 75,000 people there. And then the most recent, I saw a thing that was no, there's going to be 100,000 people there actually. But
I don't think there's going to be 70,000 people there. That would be crazy.
No. But not as obviously not the environment that you want it to be. It's not going to be 110,000 people pushing the limits of what Beaver Stadium can hold. But still, it's the tickets thing is kind of wild. I don't know. It's also the college football playoff. They're jacking up these prices for shit. So it's hurting the fans in the long run. Look at the Super Bowl now. The Super Bowl is not for fans. Super Bowl is for rich people who want to go to the Super Bowl. And that's kind of what college football is turning into with some of these marquee bowl games like the National Championship or any of the other big bowl games. Obviously, you get a lot of fans there, but it's for the rich fans. It's not everyday people who are going to the Rose Bowl or going to the National Championship or the Fiesta Bowl. And that's just how any sporting event has kind of become. Hockey, not really, but even still, hockey prices can be expensive. Look at NBA Finals tickets, how expensive those are. It's not a regular fan sitting courtside. It's fucking, I don't know, Ice Cube and Jack Nicholson. I'm not Jack Nicholson lately. He used to be, but you know what I mean. Just celebrities. That's who's getting in here.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. But what do you think about this game on the field here in Indiana, Notre Dame? What do you?
I don't know why. I really don't understand. I see a lot of people thinking Notre Dame's going to make it to the national championship, and they're
I
either
did.
gonna lose.
ESPN had a lot of picks of them losing in the national championship. Yeah, I saw that.
I don't get why they're even like getting past this Indiana team. Honestly, they're 7-point favorites. I think Indiana's a good football team. They both have really good defenses. The over/under for this game on ESPN is 52.5, which I think is crazy high. I think this game's going to be low scoring. I think it's probably going to be like 21-17. I don't know. Notre Dame has a really good rushing quarterback and a running attack. The passing game's not really there. They're fourth in the nation for rushing yards per game for their offense. I don't know. I just think Indiana actually has something to prove, and neither of these teams have looked incredible this entire year. Notre Dame, everyone, we talked about it the entire time. Everyone just decided to kind of like forget about their Northern Illinois loss, but it doesn't really make any sense why that's like slighted or pushed away. And they beat Army on a neutral field. And so Army, we don't really know what fully they are. But
you knew if Notre Dame goes 11-1, they're getting into the playoff.
Well, it's not even about the playoff though, but it's like the way people are talking about Notre Dame, like they're one of they are the best team in the country. Like, oh, they're gonna get through Indiana, they're gonna steamroll Georgia, they're gonna steamroll either Boise State or Penn State.
I think it's because it's truly like this is a bigger picture thing. There's no dominant team. And I know Oregon's undefeated in the number 1 seed, but you know how I felt about Oregon this year. I don't think they're head and shoulders above all these teams. And I think I think there's 6 to 7 teams that are like all kind of in the same stratosphere. And Notre Dame, I think, is in that area. But this game is like, for all the things that Indiana had trouble with Ohio State defensively, they're not going to have trouble with in this game from a standpoint of the rushing attack really wasn't as bad as it looked on paper in that game against in Indiana and Ohio State. And you would think that they would have learned something offensively. Like Curtis Rourke is hopefully healthy in this game and doesn't come off the field at all. That would be a big difference in going into that. And if you're thinking about it too, Notre Dame has all the pressure in the world in this game. At home against the in-state team that is not supposed to be that, as you just said, like has been getting dominated in the all-time series. Indiana's one
of the upstart of the season
programs. They're the upstart, everything. Indiana fans would have been happy if they were like 9-3 this year. And here they are 11-1 in the playoff, and now house money with a chance to beat Notre Dame at Notre Dame Stadium in the playoff. Like, no, Indiana's going to come in here confident and playing loose, and Notre Dame has all the pressure on the world because of everything that you were saying about their expectations. And if you look at the quarterbacks, I think Curtis Rourke's a better quarterback than Riley Leonard. If we're just talking about the two guys under center, I trust Rourke more than that. The biggest thing is going to be, can the offensive and defensive lines of Indiana hold up? Because that is where Notre Dame's strengths are in their lines, especially defensively. Like, this game is not going to be a high-scoring affair, but you got to protect Rourke enough to be able to get some of your chunk explosive plays that they've, had so many times this year against the lesser opponents. And they're not going to get them all the time. You're going to have to eat some negative plays if you're Indiana, but you just got to hold up to hit some of those explosives, keep Notre Dame honest so you can just run your offense and keep going, because they didn't have that chance against Ohio State. It was just, it got out of hand and they didn't get to play their offense. This is going to be, I just think they're uniquely, I think it's not a great matchup for Indiana, but I think that they're going to be better suited for this one than Ohio State.
Yeah. Well, you said offense and defense. It's their special teams too, because that's the story of that game against Ohio State, is the blocked punt that set Ohio State up within the red zone. I don't remember if it was within the 10 or not, but in the red zone, and then a punt return touchdown. It wasn't Caleb Downs that ran it back. It was their other safety, Lathan Ransom, who ran a punt return touchdown back. That was the story of that game. If they could just clean up those mistakes, and that was uncharacteristic for them that season. That's not what they did at all. It was just they just got overwhelmed by Ohio State. Then this game is going to be a lot closer too. You need to see a big step up from Mikhail Kamara, who was their best defensive lineman this year, had 10 sacks, first team All Big Ten guy. Did not show up against Ohio State at all. Didn't have any sacks. Only 3 total tackles in that game. They were all assisted. He needs to show up, and if he can get through, and honestly, you can look back not even just the Ohio State game against Michigan, whose offensive line was vaulted, these last couple of years, wasn't as good this year, but still a solid offensive line. And he couldn't get through to that. He couldn't get through that line either. Also, didn't register any sacks in that game. So if he needs to have the game of his life and take that next step forward, they have a chance. But you said though, I would trust Curtis Rourke more than Clem. I would trust Curtis Rourke more than Riley Leonard. Riley Leonard, he's not a quarterback at the next level. He's like, I don't want to say he's barely a quarterback now. He's just like a rushing guy more than anything else.
It's true.
So,
and he's never been really a strong passer. That was always the knock on him. So they're limited offensively in this game, and I think that plays into Indiana's hands here. So what do you think? What's your prediction?
I said 21-17. I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna say 21-17 from Indiana. I think they're gonna win.
Yeah, I'm also picking Indiana to win this game. I think I'm going 27-24.
Okay. So you're still getting the under 2 in there then. See, this is that 52.5 crazy. But whatever.
Maybe Vegas knows something we don't, man.
Maybe. Vegas always knows, right? I don't know why I should be doubting them, but
it's true. All right, let's get to it. Tomorrow in Happy Valley, we have the SMU Mustangs making their college football playoff debut, traveling to Penn State, making their college football playoff debut. This you talked about upstart with Indiana. This is also the upstart of the season. SMU getting NIL money, coming in, showing up in the ACC, making the ACC title game, losing to Clemson, but still getting invited to the playoff here, and now with a chance to really, really cement themselves on this game. Or in this game, really cement themselves as, arriving on the national stage is a huge game up for recruits, for attention, everything else. But again, another team beyond wildest imaginations, right? That this could happen for this SMU team this year. And here they are in the playoff, house money. On the flip side, all the pressure in the world on James Franklin and Penn State. If you lose this one, James, it's going to be a long off season. So I think that Penn State I think Indiana and SMU are comparable. I think this is going to be a close game. What are you thinking about this one?
I don't know. I don't think it's going to like run away. It's going to be like a blowout. I don't think it's going to necessarily be like, it might be close in the first half, but I don't think necessarily at the end of the game it's going to look close at all. I think that Penn State has the best player on defense on both teams, and they have the best player on offense on both teams, with Tyler Warren on their tight end and Abdul Carter, who's unanimous All-American, and it's going to be a top 10 pick. I think that those guys are just going to completely control the game. SMU has they sell out for the run a lot, so it's going to be a big test for Penn State's offense. And if Singleton and Katron are both coming off of having 100-yard games in the Big Ten championship game against a good defensive line and good defense in Oregon. So it's going to be a test for them, see if they can get things going. But, Kevin Jennings, he's a good quarterback. He can run. They're going to make him try to throw. And from what I've seen out of tape, is that Abdul Carter is going to just destroy this line, or at least he should destroy this line, and he should be getting after him constantly, and at least putting him under pressure, which I hate saying pressure because I don't really care about it as a stat that much, but he should be getting to the quarterback. He should be living in the backfield a lot of plays, making tackles for loss, which he was leading, power forward defensive lineman in, and getting a couple more sacks on his resume for this season. Score prediction: I think Penn State's going to cover. Like I said, first half might be close, but I could see this game ending up being like 35 to 17.
It's a lot of confidence from you, Mo.
I don't want to overlook SMU. I think they're a good team, but I just think Penn State is better, and they have the best players on the field. I think they do. I think they have the best player on defense, and they have the best player on offense.
Do you trust James Franklin if this game is close? I don't care about the players. This is all this comes down to. This is the biggest games of James Franklin's career, and every time he's been in a big game, he's come up short. That's fact.
Not every time. He's got
what? He's got what?
No, this is the thing you can look at. Every big game you want to say, you could come down to. You could say the Ohio State game where they won. You could say the Big Ten championship game where they won. You could say
those are 8 years ago, Alex.
Yes, I know.
8
You
years
could
ago.
go back to 2 years ago, and it was the Rose Bowl against the Pac-12 champion, who was a top 10 team, and you beat them. So you could go to that. It's 2 years ago they beat the Pac-12 champion. I think they're a better team than SMU. It does, whatever about coaching, it's just talent, and they have the talent. So yeah, I'm sure I'll trust James Franklin. I'm trusting the talent on this team that I've watched all year, and a team that I was not high on going into the season. I thought they were gonna be a 9-3 team playing in the fucking Pop-Tart Bowl, and they.
Well, I told you you were ridiculous when you said that too.
Well, I'm glad you've been proven wrong. So
I think you're ridiculous with 35-17. I think you're ridiculous with them thinking they were going to be 9-3. I think this is going to be a close game. I don't trust James Franklin. Until he proves me right. I don't think he's blowing somebody out in this game. I think SMU keeps it close. I think Penn State gets it done. I think they win 20-16 in this one. That's what I'm going with. Low scoring affair. Another under. It's good. The cold is going to be interesting.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Mo. I don't. Why should I trust James Franklin? Give me a reason.
It's not about trusting James Franklin. It's about trusting the talent on the team.
They've had talent before and blown it over and over again. The one constant is that man. They
didn't blow it this year. Their 2 losses are against teams that they were supposed to lose to.
Oh, awesome. Great. Hang the banner. Lost it.
They beat everybody they're supposed to. They're supposed to be at SMU.
All right.
I think 20-16 is fucking crazy. SMU's defense isn't good. They have a good run game, sure. But they're not going to stop. If Drew Allaire is playing like how he was against Oregon, they're not stopping Drew. They're not stopping Tyler Warren.
I think it's a lot different playing in 20-degree weather than a dome in Indianapolis to get that high scoring affair. Or it's not like Oregon's had a superpower defense all this year either. It's not getting crazy.
They had a good defensive line, and they manhandled them and gave him time to make plays downfield. So,
all right, but I
think 20 is crazy. If anything, the game would get out of hand on the defensive side of the ball. If 20-16 is wild to me. Because I think the only other way this game, like I said, 35-17.
I think you're underestimating the 20-degree weather that these guys have never played in. These games are going under. They're not going over.
They're going to be fine. Nick Singleton from PA, he's played there his whole life. Drew Ellis from Ohio.
Both teams are going to run the ball. The game's going to be low scoring.
Not to break it off 80-yard touchdowns.
The clock's just going to move. You're acting crazy if you think they're just going to score 80-yard touchdown. You're not respecting SMU enough, and I'm worried about that, Mo.
I am respecting SMU. I don't really think that they're going to blow up the run game that much, honestly. But I don't think they're going to. If SMU is selling out and stopping the run, they're going to stop Singleton and Allen. Then they're going to be passing on them, and Drew's going to be able to do that. I truly think that.
I think it's a lot to ask.
Maybe.
I think it's a lot to ask. The quarterback is also an extremely great mobile threat, very slippery. It's going to be hard to get sacks on him. It's going to be hard to get pressure on him.
I know it's going to be hard to get sacks pressure on him.
Well, that's what I'm saying here. They've got offensively they can match and make plays.
Mobile quarterbacks haven't done much against Penn State this entire season.
Who have they played mobily?
Garrett Green coming into the season is a mobile quarterback.
Oh my! You're gonna bring up the team that fired their head coach? Really?
Yeah, he is.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Sure.
He's a mobile quarterback. You could argue Dylan Gabriel kind of is, but he wasn't able to do anything. Will Howard didn't really do anything against them. Will Howard's biggest run play of the season was a fumble, or against Penn State was a fumble through the end zone. Let's see. Who's that do for Illinois? Altmaier? He was.
Well, you just named two guys you might consider mobile, and they both beat Penn State. So
I said Garrett Green.
I said but you said two other guys that beat Penn State. You brought up Will Howard and you brought up Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah, but they didn't beat them because they were running.
I was just saying. You said that your point was that they do good against running.
They brought in Washington. They benched the kid against Washington, and then the guy who came in could run, but he didn't do much.
I understand your optimism. I brought the realism to this. It's going to be a close game tomorrow.
I don't think it's going to be a close game. I don't think it's okay.
I do.
It's as much chance that they're going to win by 15 that they're going to win by 4.
If James, no, it isn't because James Franklin hasn't been able to do that. Once he proves me wrong, then I'll consider it. Until then, they might just get by. This is the biggest game of his life. Don't choke, James. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
I think that's fair. You cannot get mad at me for doubting James Franklin. I'm sorry.
I'm not saying anything about James Franklin. I'm saying the talent.
I am though. That is the crux of my argument. Is James Franklin? You can't get mad at me. I'm not wrong about that.
I'm not getting mad at you.
But you're like, okay, like you're dismissing the James Franklin part
because there's nothing more to say.
Think about it. Okay, all right.
You just want to fight James Franklin. I get it.
Clemson at Texas.
Well, no, you go first. I want to hear. You're probably gonna say this one's gonna be a close one too because the heat.
No, it's not just. I didn't just say those snow is the reason that game's gonna be close. No, I can keep this one short and sweet. Texas should win this like 38-17. We saw Clemson play a team of Texas caliber this year. They played Georgia. They lost 34-3. We saw how Texas played Georgia. Even Texas got blown out in that first game. Whatever. Played with Georgia last week. They were in that game the whole way physically. I think Texas has their way with Clemson. I think they get right. I think we see a lot more arch, and I think they got more packages for him here, but I don't think Clemson and Cade Klubnik can keep up. I think 38-10, 38-17, something like that, Texas. This is going to be academic tomorrow. This is where I put Steelers-Ravens on the big screen and put Texas on the laptop when they're up 21-0 in the first quarter. That's what I'm expecting in this game.
Okay, we're on the opposite end completely.
Oh my God! You're gonna believe in Cade Klubnik now?
No. Listen, it's because this is all this year. When you think Texas is gonna blow these teams out and do what they supposed to do, they aren't. They should just be playing Arch. If this game was just Arch Manning as a starting quarterback, then I would agree with you. But because they're gonna keep on putting Quinn Ewers in, who I don't think is very good, he's very average. He's going to fucking make some dumb throws, some interceptions, give Clemson a short field, and keep them in that game longer than they should. Not to say Texas defense is incredible.
Clemson's not going to be able to have the ball have possession of the football. They're going to get manhandled by Texas's defense. Don't even think about Quinn. Don't even think about
maybe.
We
can make that assumption, but every week it's fucking different, and we don't know. I'm saying Quinn is going to make some dumbass mistakes that he's done all year round and gives the same thing. We can look at that first Georgia game, and it's because
Texas has let up Texas defense has let up more than 20 points once this year, Alex. Once.
Okay, I didn't even give a score yet. I didn't give a score yet.
I'm just saying I'm not worried about you. I don't think Clemson's getting over 20 points. I don't think Clemson's keeping Texas under 20. It's that simple.
I think it's going to be because Quinn keeps on fucking up. That first Georgia game was 30-15. It's because they kept on getting short fields because Quinn couldn't do it.
What about the last Georgia game? Let's talk about the last Georgia game.
When they couldn't score, they couldn't punch the ball in at all. And I know that's because Georgia's defense is great.
Do you think Georgia is Clemson? Do you think Clemson is Georgia?
No, I didn't. Did I say no? I just said I know Georgia's defense is great.
Well, you're talking about one of the best defenses in the country compared to Clemson, who snuck into this tournament. It's a different world.
They won their conference. What do you mean sneaking in?
They are the bid stealer. That's what they are. They're the 12 seed. They're the 16th ranked team. They're the Cinderella technically. That's what we're dealing with here.
Yeah. I don't think.
Sorry, you're.
I'm not coming in underestimating this Clemson team. I think Texas will get it done. I think it's gonna be closer than you think.
Crazy. You're underestimating SMU, but not Clemson.
I'm not. Who fucking just won? Clemson.
I agree.
You're hyping up SMU. Oh, they're so good. They're going to keep this game super close against Penn State, who has a better defense than Texas, or not. I should say better. Similar defense to Texas, but then you're shooting down Clemson.
You heard my complaint about Penn State SMU.
Oh my God!
It is James Franklin.
Fine, but I'll give you this: Dabo Swinney. He's got the power of God on his side more than Notre Dame.
No, he doesn't.
He does. What are you going to do against that? Sark's not ready for that. He's going to see him running at him. He's not going to know what to happen.
He might not be. I got nothing to say about that.
You want to talk about trusting a coach? Dabo Swinney fucking beat Nick Saban twice in the national championship.
Yes, and Dabo Swinney's also been embarrassed in playoff games too. So I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, and he's embarrassed other teams too.
Clemson's offense isn't moving the ball in Texas. It's that simple. It's going to be I'll knock my score down. You convince me. It's going to be 31-14 Texas. This
All right, when this game's 14-14 at the half because Quinn throws some stupid ass pick that they ran back to the 20 and they scored on the next play to Antonio Williams.
Trash, and he's not trash. He's been hurt for the second half of the year.
He wasn't playing great in the first half either.
He wasn't playing bad.
He is.
Well, they're 11-2.
I understand.
What are you?
Yeah, guess who went undefeated as their starting quarterback? Arch fucking Manning. Who should be starting?
He played New Mexico State.
No, he played UTSA. He played Mississippi State, and he played UNL Monroe. I think.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Listen,
he played great. They
are 11-2. They've lost to the number 2 seed in this tournament twice, and that's it. I will trust this team. I don't think Clemson matches up with them. We saw Clemson with similar talent.
I think Texas is winning. I don't think they're going to cover.
What's the score?
27-20.
That's crazy. There's no way they score 20 points. I will bet anything with you. There's no way Clemson scores 20 points. That would be the second team or third team this year who has scored. Georgia, Vanderbilt, Clemson. That's what you think's happening.
So you think, and obviously different situations because one was at home for Vanderbilt, one's on the road at Texas, Clemson. So you think Vanderbilt's a better football team than Clemson?
No, but I'm just playing by the stats. It happened twice out of 13 games.
Well, I think it's going to happen a third time out of 14 games.
Oh, I don't know what this is here. Big Ten brought Pat cupcakes. Half of Big Ten does not have winning record. Community says they have 3 of top 6. But he is a fraud, no strength. Yeah, you go. Sure, have your SEC championships. I don't care.
Strength of record. That's real cool, man. That's great. Play 9 conference games and then talk. Soft stuff. It's the hardest conference, but we don't want to play a nice conference game.
Yeah, or just don't.
Mercer in November. Shut the fuck up.
Or just don't be mad when you have the hardest conference and then get mad that your teams all beat each other and then it doesn't look good. Like you win your games. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Tennessee and Ohio State. Here's a chance you can win a big game against the fake Big Ten. The Ohio State Buckeyes 7-point favorites over the Tennessee Volunteers.
You've heard the rumors about this game, right?
What?
That it's going to be a lot of orange in that stadium. That resale tickets, I saw a lot of stuff saying resale tickets, 40% went to Tennessee fans.
Okay.
They're showing up big for this game.
How long's the drive from Knoxville to Columbus? Let's see. It's probably not.
I can't be that. I mean, probably like 6 hours. That's my guess.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. 6 or 7. Worth the trip. Probably a lot of hotels to stay in.
Right. That's a thing too. Way bigger city, obviously, than State College and South Bend.
Columbus to Knoxville is a 5-hour drive. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So even less.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is obviously like because it's the closest because it's the 9-8, so it's really exciting, and this is why it's the primetime game, 8 p.m. Is Herbstreit and Fowler calling this game?
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's SEC Big Ten too here.
Yeah, SEC Big Ten. I saw a funny tweet that said, it's going to be the battle of the most unaware quarterbacks possible with Will Howard and Nico Amaliava. I said, I wonder if they even know they're playing each other yet. Which it's funny to look at the spectrum. Like Nico is it's only his second year, first season as a starter, but second year in college football. Young guy, and Will Howard, who's on his 5th season, transferred from Kansas State. And it's just like they're end of the spectrum, and neither one of them is elite, really. Nico, they came into the year, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, Nico is gonna win the Heisman," because he threw 5 touchdown passes against Chattanooga, and everyone's like, "Oh shit!" And then Will Howard obviously beat Penn State at Penn State, and had a 1-point loss against Oregon at Oregon, but he doesn't obviously know how to count or have any time management skills because he just slides with no time left. So I don't know. It's interesting. It's very interesting this matchup. Ohio State obviously coming in kind of sad. They lost to their biggest rival, kind of an embarrassing loss, really, when you put in they were 20-point favorites and then got the flag planted at midfield and then tried to fight people over it. And then you got that congressman who's like, we're gonna make it a law that you're not allowed to do that anymore. It's gonna be a felony. Say, okay, you guys are really kind of soft that you're doing all this now. So I don't know. This one honestly is a toss up. What's this? It's 7. I'm surprised the spread's 7. I could see it being a little bit closer. Ohio State's defense obviously is.
Yeah.
Ohio State's defense is legit, but so is Tennessee's. That's like this game definitely gonna be low scoring. And if you're talking about the weather with this one, it's supposed to be. Last time I saw it from ESPN, they said it's gonna be like.
They're supposed to get some snow.
Yeah, and it's gonna be like 15 degrees with like real feel.
But it gets it gets cold in Knoxville too.
That's what I was. Yeah, exactly. That's it gets cold in Knoxville too. So it's not like as big of a change.
46.5 right now.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah, let's see. AccuWeather says at around 8 o'clock. No more snow. No precipitation in the forecast, but a 28 degrees real feel at 22 in Columbus tomorrow. Yeah. Oh no, this is my bad. Hold on. Oh no, that's tomorrow. My bad. Yeah.
You want to talk about a coach who has something to prove and who hasn't shown in moments yet? That's Ryan Day.
It's true.
He's coming off of 3 straight years of losing to Michigan.
It's true. He still beat James Franklin though.
He did. Well, that tweet from the week 2 I saw, and he said that Ryan Day is the Michael Jordan of James Franklin's.
Yeah.
He's the best version of that kind of guy. So I don't know. I want to look. Tennessee, Clemson, and Texas, by the way, have never played each other before, so that's a first time matchup.
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome.
So that's exciting. That's a little battle of orange going on there. Tennessee and Ohio State. I don't know if they have played each other. They have one time in 1996. Tennessee won. It was I believe it is the Citrus Bowl. Yeah, Florida Citrus Bowl.
How about this? Going back to Texas and Clemson as well. It is a rematch, actually, of sorts. In January 2021, Cade Klubnik and Austin Westlake beat Quinn Ewers and South Lake Carroll 52-34 in the 6A Division II championship game.
Yes, did see that it's a matchup, and it's Cade. I think it was Cade said that some of his he knows some kids on Texas who he played with.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's good. That's pretty cool.
It is. I mean, Cade, was a very high quarterback recruit. It's interesting to look at because it was
they were number 1 and 2 state at the time. So yeah.
Yeah. It's fun. Good old time. Great quarterbacks playing each other. This one I think is gonna be low scoring. Ohio State has the number 1 defense, points per game allowed, just under 11. It's 10.9. Tennessee is 5th, 13.9, so just under 14. I don't know. Neither. It depends. It's like what quarterback do you trust more in this? And honestly, the answer is kind of neither. I don't really like either of them that much.
Really.
They both have really good run defenses, so it's going to be I guess they're going to just try to throw the ball.
This game's going to get won in the offensive in the trenches. Whoever gets to dominate in the trenches wins. That's all that really matters.
And I think obviously there's going to be at some point with defenses where there's going to be a break on at least one play, and that probably goes in Ohio State's favor. I think because you have Jeremiah Smith, who was first team All Big Ten. He might have even gotten a little bit of All-American shine, but not from any of the major selectors. But a dude who obviously showed out this year and broke a lot of Ohio State freshman records for receivers.
Yeah.
Sure. I think you could see this game really close, 7-7, close, and then it's just or maybe even 10-7, like Tennessee, and then you see just a 65-yard touchdown where he just burns everybody in the secondary. And they go up 14-10, and that might be the deciding factor in the game, honestly. It's just that one big play where someone busted open. So that's what I'm saying. That game I think is going to be close like that. I think Tennessee will cover. I'll say Ohio State now. I'll say because it's the home factor, even though going to be a lot of Tennessee fans there. But I just think they're going to have Will Howard, as much as I'm bashing on him, is still at least a more experienced quarterback than Nico. So he'll get it done enough. He'll do just enough, and I think a big play from Jeremiah Smith.
I agree with you. I'm picking the Buckeyes here, even though I will be cheering for the Vols in this game. I think that this team is still, I've thought all year, one of the most talented football teams in the country. No reason to not believe that. Terrible loss to Michigan, but that was not a thing about their talent. That was a complete mental meltdown. How did they? And that's a reason to worry about them coming into this game, but. It was a good point a couple years ago when they had that game against Georgia, and after losing to Michigan, everybody's like, "Oh man, is this team down and out? Like, are they going to even be able to get up off the mat?" And they lost that game by 1 point, but it was an impressive response from a team that everybody kind of thought was going to lay over and get smashed by Georgia. Ryan Day looked like remember you were talking about Day, like how he looked energetic in that game and kind of had them fired up, and they kind of got rallied together.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be able to do that again. I really do. I think the Buckeyes can rally together here. They're at home, and your season's not over. You lost to Michigan, but everything's still in front of you. This is still, in my mind, one of the 4 best teams in the country. So I think that they can handle this. It's going to be a close one. I think Tennessee covers. I'm going to say 24-20.
Okay, so you're about to 4 points, but just a little bit more scoring is what you're saying.
Yep.
What's the? I got it right here. What's the? Over on this game, 46.5. So opened up at 47, so they dropped it only 1 point. The spread stayed the same, but so we got all the same picks.
We got all the same picks.
All the same picks, but different reasoning and different scores.
And I've got what's your final 4?
The final 4 I did was Georgia, Penn State, and Oregon, Texas.
Okay, so our only difference is I have Ohio State beating Oregon.
Beating Oregon in the rematch.
What about your championship?
I just went for fun with my championship, but I did the bracket.
You did.
You can guess what my championship.
You did Texas and Penn State. Who'd you
pick?
I
did. I picked Penn State to win.
Okay, I picked the Texas Longhorns to beat the Georgia Bulldogs in their 3rd matchup this year.
Oh. I did know that. I think you said that. Yeah.
Yeah. It would be hilarious to have 2 SEC Big Ten matchups in the semis, and for it to end up being SEC teams. That would just be
both times. Yeah.
A funny, hilarious thing.
Yeah.
But
or if it ends up 2 Big Ten teams, Texas, and everyone just can shut the fuck up about the SEC.
I do think Texas can beat Georgia, but if Georgia makes the championship, they will be the favorite no matter what, because that means Brock. That means their guy is it Vandegrift? No, not Vandegrift. Who's the backup? Gunnar Stockton.
Gunnar Stockton. Well, they already said Carson Beck is not playing in.
He's not even with the team right now, man.
Yeah, Carson Beck will not play in the Sugar Bowl against either Notre Dame or Indiana. They already announced that.
And that's the thing is if Stockton wins, you're not taking him out. So I think it's Gunnar Stockton.
No, and I thought that he just showed more of a spark in that game. Then
he's way more willing to run and more mobile, and they can run that kind of offense. And Beck just got reckless, the second half of the year. But it turned.
And I mean, and he held on to that ball. He held on to that ball after getting that huge hit from Jody Barron, and that set up that touchdown for them. That's a play. I mean, Carson Beck probably fumbles on, honestly, if he gets hit like that. Gets dropped the shoulder in like that, man. So yeah, he's strong guy. It's funny seeing all the Florida State fans now who are pissed. They're like, oh, they're without their starting quarterback. That means they probably shouldn't be in the playoff then, right? And it's like, oh, okay, tough beat, guys. Gunnar Stockton looked better than whatever that dude's last. I can't even remember who Arizona State's backup last year.
You guys would have made the 12-team playoff. Florida State, sorry.
Yeah.
It's a different playoff. Don't know what to tell you. But all right. Let's enjoy it. We're about 90 minutes out, a little bit more than 90 minutes out from kickoff of the college football playoff in South Bend.
Fun. Who's calling that? Who's calling that game?
I believe tonight is McDonough.
And McElroy.
And McElroy.
I'm gonna look quick.
I know it all. Penn State's getting Mark Jones and Roddy Jones.
Okay.
Texas is getting Dave Pasch and Dusty Dvorak, and then Fowler and Herb Street on Saturday night. Gotcha. And then they're switching around like for the quarterfinals, it's not all those guys. Like they're spreading the wealth among a bunch of the teams. Like Bob Wischusen's getting a game in there. Somebody else, another team is getting a game there. Like Lewis Riddick and his team's getting a game.
Tess getting a game?
Tess is getting one of the quarterfinals, I think. Yeah. So they're kind of switching it around in that way. So it's good. Yeah. It'll be a lot of good. It'll be interesting because I'm wondering if the TNT broadcast is going to use if there's like some uniform college football playoff graphics they're going to use tomorrow across all the broadcasts, or if ESPN's going to have their own
different. He's going to have. Yeah, I guess we should say that Penn State SMU at 12 and then Texas Clemson at 4 o'clock are both TNT and Mac here. Yeah, it's which is interesting. It's going to be interesting to see. Honestly, I mean, good deal for TNT that they got these games. That's pretty cool.
Well, I mean, kind of. I guess TNT's lost a lot, so this was kind of thing. This is now officially like part of the deal to get inside the NBA onto ESPN. Actually, is these games as a trade-off. So interesting times.
Chuck is fielding all offers. That's what I saw.
Yeah, I'm sure he is.
He is.
He wants that bag.
He did. He said NBC, ABC, ESPN. He's like, I'm looking at everything.
I'm sure.
So
because they still need to both those guys, him and Ernie, still need to do deals with Turner no matter what.
Yeah.
So they're gonna get a bag, and we'll see them on ESPN next year, and it'll be great. But for now, it's college football time. Notre Dame,
hell yeah,
Indiana tonight. Honestly, just a great day of football. Stay locked on Trainwreck all day tomorrow because it'll be coverage all day of all the football. Because we got big building implications as well, with basically the rest of the AFC contenders all playing each other tomorrow afternoon, smack dab in the middle of these college football games. This is one of the best football days of my life. Like, I can't wait. It's going to be so much fun.
It's kind of crazy. I don't care about those NFL games at all tomorrow. I'll be honest. I'm locked in for college football.
See, there's 2 screens, Mo.
I know. Well, I gotta go to a holiday party tomorrow. I know. So that's kind of limiting me a little bit.
I understand that, but I will have 2 screens.
Yeah.
Set up, locked in.
Yeah.
And when like I said, when Texas is up 21-0 on Clemson in the first quarter, I will politely move Texas to my laptop, and I will politely move Steelers Ravens to my television.
I might place a bet tomorrow. I'm betting
Clemson under 20 points. I'm definitely doing that.
Okay, I might bet tomorrow. First quarter score: Clemson 7-0 against Texas.
There's no way. 0%.
I might do that. I'm not gonna put a lot of money, but I might do that.
It's crazy.
Well,
I can't believe this is where you ended up.
It's still Texas winning. I just don't think it's a blowout.
But Clemson's not good.
You can't doubt Dabo Swinney. You can't doubt him.
And you can't doubt James Franklin in the opposite way.
I am doubting James Franklin. I don't doubt the talent. That's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see y'all later. We'll see y'all probably
for the quarterfinals. I would assume
into New Year's. Yeah.
Yeah.
Next in a couple weeks, week and a half.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. Talk soon, fellas. See ya.
Yep.